now is catching up a bit in the farm count, while Idra taking the time, using this time right now, knows that his opponent probably isn't going to push out and has pretty strong map control, throwing down a few more spine crawlers. Here comes the Colossus, going to try to poke around as much as he can, take out the spine crawlers, which have been critical for Idra to kind of hold his ground. This Colossus has to be careful. Is on the low ground, is able to take out one of the spine crawlers right now, but you know the timing of it, he not try to overextend himself. He does have thermal length, but these Hydras will take it down incredibly quickly, trying to get back up onto the high ground right now. And look at that Hydra ball, kind of just moving in for Idra. Now spreading out, now doing a good job spreading out his Hydras, microing them so that they don't all take that damage right away. Two Colossus out, 134 over 116, and it looks like there is a Overlord just vomiting creep into the base of Naniwa. Here comes a push from Naniwa. Is it going to be enough? There are multiple. Oh, just look at how many Hydras are on the field right now. Looking at the unit count, we have 23 Hydras and 48 Lings out on the field. Going to be really, really difficult for Naniwa to push out, especially with some of these spine crawlers out here as well to reinforce. Naniwa being forced to stay within his base, and while Idra is already taking his third base and now really going to start outmassing his opponent. Not a good thing for Naniwa at all. 155 over 124. Naniwa desperate to get out, try to push out as much as he can. Going to finally be taking his third expansion, but this back door already open, and these Lings are just going to come in, and this is going to be really difficult for Naniwa to try to hold. He has to hold two fronts at once, one here and one on the backside. These Lings are just so fast right now, and with the creep all over the map, they can just travel across the map very, very, very quickly. Hydra's at the front door. Lings coming in to take care of this expansion in the back. A big push by Naniwa right now, able to take out the spine crawler, and Hydra just waiting for the right time. Has a bunch of roaches out right now, so this Hydra roach combination going to be very deadly. Oh no, the Lings are coming in for a surround. Not a good thing for Naniwa. He really needs to be able to move. He can't just take fire on all sides, and everything's just slowly falling for him. A ton of Colossus out right now, able to fry everything on the map, but Hydra's done a really good job trying to spread out his units as much as possible so that it's not all concentrated fire. Finally is able to move. Those Lings were taken care of. But looking at the army count right now, and looking at the units lost, Hydra has taken a bunch more damage, but does have a lot more of the tier 1 units. A lot of those, I think, are Lings that are lost, but is still able to maintain a bigger army in that exchange, and is really out-resourcing his opponent. He can just throw wave after wave of army at his opponent and just have them die as long as he can keep his economy up, isn't getting any pressure at any of his expansions, so this not looking very good for Naniwa at this point. More pressure going down, almost all the ground forces going down, and now the Colossus really have to try to kite the best that they can. Naniwa doing a great job hitting and retreating, using that distance as much as he can. But at this point, he really needs some reinforcements on the ground. I really want to see that Twilight Council somewhere. But wow, mined out of his main. Naniwa in a lot of trouble now. As looking at the farm count, 140 over 94. His opponent is really just about to mine out of his main as well. But you know, free to take pretty much anything. Naniwa hasn't even been able to step out of his side of the map. Has been contained the entire time, and look at the creep on the map. I mean, a lot of this is just a mix of the creep tumor and the overlords just vomiting everywhere. But Idra in very good control, has very strong map control, and now going to take the gold right across from Naniwa. I think once this goes down, it's going to be almost difficult, or it's going to be a really tough comeback for Naniwa. He really needs to try to utilize as much of these Colossus and Sentries as possible. It's going to take some mega force field timing. They're not going to be fast enough, I think, at this point. There's so much creep out on the field. These just a handful of Lings can come in and do some major harassment. And looking at let's look at the upgrade right now for both players. 1-0 plus 1-4, and the Lings are coming in right now. Gonna try to do as much damage, or trying to run back. No, Hydra's just deciding, hey, what am I gonna do right now? Just pester and bring the forces out here, lure them out. We could be seeing very good kind of, because Naniwa has to fight this two-front battle. He's gonna have a hard time trying to move his forces in place, and I could very well see that, you know, Idra staging some sort of attack here and then bringing the rest of his forces in. A lot of these structures very, very vulnerable right now. Looking at the farm count, 180 over 138. Income tab, both players are still decently even, although the gold is down for Idra. I think, you know, this gold, I really think he might have taken this one. I mean, like, if Naniwa at this point overextends himself too far north, he's just going to get ransacked here. And it looks like he might be trying to test things out, getting that Zonaga Watchtower, getting the site. But his army is really far north, and we'll see how Idra responds to that. Idra right now, looking over at his... he has a few Evil Chambers, is getting more upgrades for his units. Both players just kind of figuring out how to defend. It looks like Naniwa has not been able to upgrade anything else at this point. It still only has the +1 for his units on the ground. Now getting a mix of looking at the... Oh, it looks like Ultralisks are being researched from Idra, and that is going to be a big problem. Right now, going to be taking down the rocks and getting this, or linking up this expansion. Wasn't even afraid of it. I mean, like, I thought he had this rocks down a long time ago. He's not even afraid of this one being attacked at this point because he has such good map control in the middle. Ultralisks now onto the field. Upgrades around, there's +2 attack right now, and yeah, things aren't looking good for Naniwa. Looks like Idra is just going to mass up, waiting for those Ultralisks to do a timing push, and Naniwa does have a response, is able to see those because of his scout. Does have some Immortals in there to try to tank and take out some of those Ultras as best as he can, but really has to do a significant amount of micro right now. Finally getting +2 weapons, and yeah, Idra going to be taking that other gold. Looking at the income tab right now, Idra about to mine out of his natural. Naniwa about to do the same. Naniwa does have his second expansion, but you know, in the long term, this is unless Naniwa can really deliver a fatal blow, needs some incredible micro at this point to really take things out. Looks like Idra is maxed out, and he should attack at this point because Naniwa's going to start maxing out pretty soon as well. But Idra with a look at, he's just saving up. Look at how many larvae he has. He just has a ton of larvae right now and a ton of money. I think what he might be waiting for is just that critical mass of money and larvae, so that once he goes in, once he makes his attack, as the units are dying, he's replenishing and can jump right back up to 200. So even though it's pretty much maxed out on both sides right now, as soon as Naniwa won't be able to catch up in terms of production. So they can do a fair trade right now, but it's not going to be good for Naniwa. And here we go. I think the major action is about to happen. Naniwa, I think, it really needs to try and position himself. Oh, and overextends itself to the north, so all the units are going to move in and just try to destroy as much as they can right now. Naniwa trying to take out that hatchery, but not a good idea. It's not going to be a fair exchange for him because he's going to be losing too many of his gateways, and Naniwa isn't able to engage, just has to watch as everything starts falling down. The forces are split. Not a good position for Naniwa. He really needs to try to group, and this is pretty good for him. The Colossus are on the high ground, able to fry everything in the front. Everything slowly starting to go down. Force fields. Yes, there they come. And good job by Naniwa to hold it off. But look at that. You know, Idra already back up at 200 without even blinking, and still has a ton of larvae waiting in queue. He did lose that gold expansion, but he has another gold expansion down here. So unfortunately, Naniwa not going to have too much life after this one. Idra right now just waiting for, I think, upgrades to finish, I assume, before he pushes in again. Another timing attack from him, and things not looking good for Naniwa at all. He is able to replenish, but now even like supply blocked at 182. And here comes the big push from Idra. No, they just want to get rid of that probe. Will he push in? Is he waiting? +3 already done. And here come the big forces. Idra feels like he can push in and just replenish. Everyone just kind of filing in, or hit and run from Idra. Both of them exchanging forces. Looking at the units lost, Idra is behind in terms of units, but looking at the resources, I'd say that Naniwa has lost pretty much a very similar amount of higher tier units. 196 over 173. Another expansion going down for Idra. Idra now ready to take almost the entire map. Naniwa trying to throw down a pylon here. Not going to happen. Not going to happen at all. And I think Naniwa really needs to make a strong push, really needs to take out some sort of structure. Getting Templars now, so going to be adding Psystorm to the mix of everything too, and that could definitely help him out. Knight is going down in the middle of the map, and these were dropped down. The roaches were dropped down in the back, and while that's going on, Idra just going to move into the front. Great play by Idra, has massed up significantly and distracted his opponent, forced him to retreat, and just going to go for a hit and run technique right now. Once that Nidus pops up, I mean, it's just going to be very, very difficult. And here it is, loaded up with some lings. Where is it going to pop up on the map? There is an observer. Naniwa does know that his opponent does have that gold expansion. Naniwa only mining off one base right now, is falling behind in almost everything. Should just push ahead. I think this is pretty much going to be game soon. Idra flexing his massing powers at this point, and let's see what's gonna happen. Keeping an eye on the mini-map. I'm waiting for that Nidus to pop up somewhere. But here we go. Bunch of units coming in. Naniwa, I think, doing the right thing, trying to clump together in the ball, trying to not have... And the Psystorm's going down. A whole bunch of units falling, but it looks like... I can't even tell what's going on in the middle, but all the splash damage from the units, and looks like in this exchange, 91 is going to go down, unfortunately. Or not going to be a replenishing time. Looking at the 192 over 86. Idra just replenishing as he goes along. Doesn't even care that his units are getting fried because he's taking Naniwa out, and Naniwa isn't able to replenish nearly as fast. 176 over 89. This is the power of Idra, and this is why so many fear him. Just his ability to mass and control the map like this. Keeping his opponent trapped in the base. And yeah, this is not looking good for Naniwa. Naniwa finally GG's in the game. So great game from Idra, from both players. Naniwa doing his very, very best to hold off Idra and the massing that he can do. But looks like Idra does take game 1 of this best of 3. And I will be casting the rest of these games. So this is JCS StarCraft signing off.